Welcome back to Humphrey House. I am here with my husband Andre, and today is about finances. So this is session 4 of the Money Talk series, and today we are discussing whether or not couples should have a joint bank account or a separate bank account when they get married. So it's totally dependent on the couple, it's situational, so it depends on what their goals are and what their financial situation is looking like and what's best for them. So that is one of the most important questions to ask when you're getting married is, should we have a separate or joint bank account? So with that being said, if you want to hear more, keep watching. So the benefits, what are the benefits of having a joint bank account? There are several different benefits, so let's see. Both parties get a debit card and an online banking access. So you both can see your account online, what goes in, what comes out. There is a smaller chance of encountering financial surprises because you both see what is going in and what's coming out. So there's a better chance for you both to balance the checkbooks or keep an eye on the charges that are coming out and the charges that are coming in. And if you see something that looks kind of fishy, you both can figure that out quick. It's easier to set financial goals when you both have a joint bank account because you can plan better as a couple and two minds are better than one. So legal affairs are streamlined. So if something were to happen to your spouse, you wouldn't have to go through a will or any other legal matters. The money will be yours if you have a joint bank account. Other than that, you may have to go through all that craziness to get your money. So those are some benefits of having a joint bank account, and Andre will go over some disadvantages, because yes, there are disadvantages too.
Yes, there are a lot of disadvantages. Just don't do it. I'm just playing. Some of the drawbacks to having a joint account would be losing financial independence. When you get a joint account with someone else, you lose your ability to have your will to do whatever you want with your account. You don't have someone with the oversight over your account, so you don't have that freedom anymore. So that's one of the drawbacks to having a joint account, because a lot of times when people come into with a joint account, the other person, depending if they were honest or not on their finances, might have debt that will negatively impact the relationship, because debt is a factor, and finances, as we're discussing, are something that impacts relationships. So
big time.
So when you look at those things, you having a joint account could potentially set a relationship on the downturn, because the secrets that you might have. There are studies that show that 35% of couples say that a secret bank account is equivalent to cheating on the partner or spouse, while 20% say it's worse.
I would say it's cheating.
You think it's cheating?
Honestly, if you have a separate bank account that I don't know about, mm-hmm. and you just put in stashing money in there for your exit, that's what I would think. Oh. So if I didn't know about it, now if you told me about it and you had an intention for that bank account, then it would be discussed.
But what if I didn't discuss it with you and my intention was still good? So say if I had a separate account and I was saving it for something that I wanted to purchase for you, but I didn't want you to know.
Okay, if that's the case.
Then does it become a problem?
I think just keeping it a secret will be a problem for me.
Okay. So, as you can see, studies are showing that having secret accounts can cause a real problem in your relationship. So, you don't want to have that issue. Another thing could be that one might have, debt as far as like child support or, other credit debt or something like that. And another issue could be that the difference in income. One could make a significant more significant amount more than the other. So one might feel that the other isn't able to contribute as much, so they might feel that they might have more control over the finances because of what they bring in. So these are some of the drawbacks that come with having a joint bank account. Another drawback is that, say for whatever reason your relationship ends, you or your spouse have the ability to withdraw all the money and close the account without the consent of the other. So this can potentially leave one of the spouses penniless while the other one takes all the money. So that is another potential drawback to having a joint bank account. But outside of that, I mean, it's all really subjective. So
yeah, I kind of like having a joint bank account because it's, in the beginning when we were married, that was a big question for us, and we had to figure out if we were gonna have separate accounts or joint accounts. I think when we were separate, we were looking at things like, oh, this is my money, this is your money. Why are you paying for that with my money that I'm earning, you know? So when we got a joint bank account, it was something that you had to get used to. It was still some disagreements, but it's something that we had to communicate and come up with a plan to move forward. I think the hardest part was just the other party seeing everything that you buy. Like if you have a shopping habit, you know, sometimes people just like to go shopping. Or
that was my problem.
If you have an addiction to games or something, you know, who knows? The other party will see it, the other spouse or, you know, your partner will see it, and like tally marks of everything you're buying. So I just had to be mindful of that in the beginning. So to just be kind of conscious of my purchases, you know, because I didn't want to offend him anyway. And if it's like a big purchase, I think we agreed on if it's like more than $100, we would discuss with one another prior to buying it, you know. So what's your opinion on that? How was it for you in the beginning?
Initially, I was against it. I didn't want to have a joint account, but she convinced me on having a joint account. Why I was against it was because of those same reasons that she spoke of, as far as being able to see some of the purchases and transactions that she makes. At that time, Malika was a frivolous spender. She used to like to shop.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
We're mindful now. We're intentional, and we live in like minimalistic ways. So yeah, things have changed. That was me back in the day.
She had expensive taste. She didn't have like no, oh, I'm just gonna buy some Target clothes. Like, nah, she wanted something of
okay,
you know, whatever. So being able to see those type of transactions, that it would piss me off, because like she said, I would feel like, what are you doing with my money? But it wasn't just my money, it was our money. So I had to start taking a different outlook on it. I had to start saying to myself that if for whatever reason that we get into a financial hardship, I'm going to let it go down, because if it crash and burn, we crash and burn together, and she's gonna have to see it for herself and see that I'm not just harping on certain things, and just vice versa. So it was hard. Initially, it was really hard. It was just like, so I stopped looking at the account and stuff. But as time went on, we had to develop boundaries and agree on things, on how we were to spend things. Like she said, that we say anything over $100, we have a discussion about. So doing little things like that helped us with our joint account. It works out great. I mean, when you think about it, you see all the money come in together. You know where it's all at. You know what bills that needs to be paid, and then you guys can collaborate to pay it together, versus doing it from two separate accounts when you don't really know each person's financial obligations and what they really are spending and what they really have in there. So having a joint account forces you to communicate with your partner more about what you're going to do with your finances.
Yeah. And I think it's important to set financial goals as a couple. You know, when you put both of your money together, then you can really plan and budget more efficiently, you know. So I think if you're not quite ready or you don't agree with joint bank accounts, I suggest opening a separate account that both of you have access to, and both of you contribute to that account. You determine what's feasible for each of you, and you put in that money to that account, and that's how you pay your bills. You know, so some factors to consider when planning as a couple for finances are what approach are we going to take to pay off the debt we accumulated together? What about investments? How are we going to pay for investments?
Or even the debt you accumulated by yourself, because when you come into a marriage, your debt's together now. You know what I mean? So sometimes when you come into a joint account straight off, your debt, both parties probably still don't have their debt paid off. So
yeah,
just you have to think about that too.
Yeah, right. How will regular household expenses be handled? How the bills will be paid? Andre pays all of our bills. I cannot take that from him. He does that consistently every month because I have a bad memory. I forget to pay everything. We'll be out on the street if it was left to me. So he pays, he pay all the bills, which that's his thing. Let him do that, you know. If it comes to like buying stuff for the house, home decor, or shopping, that's me. I do all that stuff. So, or food, you know, that's what we do together. So you have to come up with your goals as a couple, your financial goals and everything, and figure out what works best for you. It's not going to be the same as someone else. It's not a cookie cutter type of answer, you know, it's situational. So just have a detailed discussion about finances with your partner or spouse and figure out what's best for you. You have any last words?
No, that's basically it. I mean, like she said, just come together, find out, develop a plan, see what works best for you as a couple, what you guys feel that is most trusting for one another, because that's what you really are building on, is trust.
Separate accounts work for some people.
Yeah,
you know, you just have to figure out what works for you. And for us, the joint bank account worked better for us.
They work a lot better.
So
a lot better.
Well, that was session 4 of the Money Talk series. So continue to keep watching for more financial topics. We have a few more videos in this series and we'll be completed. Thank you to all of the new subscribers, to Humphrey House, and all the positive comments. I'm reading them and I'm trying to respond to them as best as I can. Stay tuned for more videos. Thank you.